Hello and welcome back to another episode of Film Club, the series where we just talk about films that I've recently been watching. Comment down below whatever films you've been watching, let me know, give me some suggestions. And if you've seen any of the films that I'm about to talk about, let me know what you thought about them. But I'm going to get straight into it because I'm so excited to talk about the first film. I finally went to see Babylon at the cinema. Oh my god, I loved this film. I'm so confused because I see this film getting a lot of hate on Twitter and YouTube and things like that, but I've never done cocaine, but I imagine that this film is what cocaine feels like. It was just mental. The first scene with the party is so good and it's so well done. The music in it's incredible. The blocking of everything is just so good. And then the whole scene of how films were made before the talkies, that was so much fun, and it's just chaos. This whole film is chaos. Performances from Margot Robbie and Brad Pitt and just the whole cast really. They're all really good. The cinematography is so creative and bright. I just loved all the colours in it. But honestly, I think my favourite part of this film is just the music. The music fits it so well and brings the whole film to life. And that last scene was just, I mean, I wasn't expecting the film to end in that way, but made me literally like reconsider films and my whole life. I was just sat there thinking, what's going on here? I just don't understand the hate it's getting. I came out of that thinking it was easily in my top 10 films of all time, and then I go on Twitter and things and people are like slating it and saying it's a mess, it's rubbish, but I just don't get that at all. A little bit of a different one for the film club, but I recently watched KSI's documentary, so I'm going to talk about that. In terms of a documentary, this is actually really well made. I kind of expected it to be well made because Louis Theroux was a producer and I just like all of his documentaries, but that's one aspect that I kind of wish they did more of. I wish Louis Theroux was more involved, or maybe he walked around with KSI and talked to him a little bit more. I just think they could have shown a bit more about KSI rather than it being more about his relationship with his family. It was almost like 90% of the film was a follow-on from the Deji drama and the Deji beef that happened a while ago. But nevertheless, it's still a decent documentary. I love JJ and I've watched his videos for years and years, so to see that different side of him was kind of nice to see the sort of different personas of JJ and KSI. It was really interesting. The next film that I watched was Nope. I was really excited for Nope. I loved Jordan Peele. I loved Get Out. I loved Us. Personally for me, Us is better. And when I saw this trailer, I was just excited for it. I feel like this film almost fell flat because of the way it was advertised. The trailers and everything made out that it was this horror film about aliens coming down, which in the first half it sort of was. But then as it progresses, it was just kind of became like a strange, odd, psychological type film rather than it being the horror that it was portrayed as. This film had its good moments, and I did somewhat enjoy the film. I felt a little bit like sort of let down by it. This was definitely, in my opinion, my least favourite of all three of Jordan Peele's films. And yeah, it did have its good moments. The acting was good. The CG was phenomenal. It just felt a bit misdirected in how it was advertised, and if it had kept on the path of being a horror with aliens, I actually think it would have been so much better. Like the moment where the kids are in the barn and they're pretending to be the aliens, if they'd have kept that storyline going, it would have been so much better. It'd have been like a horror with like aliens invading. I love Jonah Hill, so the trailer for You People got me really excited, and to see him back in a comedy I was just excited for this film. I just thought it was very funny. I mean, you have to be a type of person to enjoy this film. I feel like the comedy's quite modern. You just have to be a certain type of person to find this film funny, but I did. I think the film was a little bit too long. You could have probably cut it down to about an hour 45 instead of it being 2 hours. But overall, it was just a good concept. It's something that we've not really seen before. And yeah, there were just some great comedy scenes in this that I know will be like clipped and put on TikTok or something. I feel like ever since streaming services came into play, that comedies and especially rom-coms sort of like this have been the biggest sufferers from any genre. So to finally see it get a return, and in such a good way, with Jonah Hill as well at the forefront, I just liked it. I had an Apple TV trial, so I thought I'd give Cherry a go, and it was actually really good. It's my first time that I've seen Tom Holland like seriously act outside of Spider-Man and Uncharted. The casting was a little bit odd for the film. Sort of think he should have looked maybe a little bit older by the end, and especially his girlfriend as well. She looked really young when they were supposed to be like drug addicts at 25. Despite saying that though, the performances that both of them give are just, they're so good throughout the film. In fact, I actually think the actor of Emily, I can't remember her name, but I actually think she gives a better performance than Tom Holland. Some of the scenes where she's like raging and angry, it's just, you feel it, it's so good. The story manages to cram a lot in and it's done really well. The pacing of the film's brilliant because you don't ever get too bored or stuck at one place for too long, and you feel like the progression makes sense. It doesn't feel like it's just jumping from one thing to another. that it actually makes sense for the characters and the story. I think they just did a good job with connecting you to the characters and to the story and wanting them to get better and get out of the drug addiction and everything like that. I don't know why UK keeps getting films later than America at the minute. We only just got The Fablemans, and I've been waiting for this film for ages, and I was not disappointed. If you just made me watch this film, I could literally tell that it's a Steven Spielberg film, especially when he's at school and like with the school bullies and sort of the tropes of American high school and things like that. I did really like this film though. It was just a nice little story, especially someone like me watching that. Growing up, I have always filmed stuff, and I've always been doing like YouTube videos, and when we've gone on holidays I've filmed it, and so seeing that sort of side of things and how someone like that, especially someone like Steven Spielberg, because it's a film about his life and him growing up, seeing elements of that, and I could really like connect to the character in that way. Just a really nice little story, and you feel bad about both angles. It makes you feel like sorry for the dad, but then also sorry for the mum, and just the way both the characters are written and acted especially well. I mean, I honestly think Paul Dano is slowly becoming one of my favourite actors just at the current time. Like, just everything he's in, he's so good in it, and he portrays everything so well. I don't think you could give this man a character and him not be able to do it well. But anyway, those are the films that I've been watching this week. I hope you have enjoyed. If you've watched any of them, or you go and see them, let me know in the comments what you think about them. Do you like them? Do you not like them? And as I said, let me know what you've been watching. That's all from me, and I'll see you next time at the Film Club.